Good day, my friends. Today, I want to remind you of something powerful. No matter where you are, no matter what you're facing, you were not created to stay down. You were designed to rise higher, to see beyond your circumstances, to step into the destiny that has been set before you. Too often, we walk through life with our heads down, focused on our problems, weighed down by disappointments, and stuck in routines. But I want to encourage you today. Lift up your eyes. When you look up, you're not just changing your view, you're changing your perspective. The struggles, the setbacks, the storms, they may seem overwhelming, but they are not the final chapter of your story. What's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. The breakthrough, the opportunity, the answered prayers, it's all in front of you, but you have to lift your eyes to see it. You may say, but I've been through too much, or I don't see how things can change. That's because you're looking at it from a limited view. But when you lift your eyes, you'll see that there is a greater plan, a higher calling, and a purpose waiting for you. Think of an eagle. It doesn't stay on the ground worrying about the storm. It soars above it. It rides the winds that others see as obstacles. That's what you were created to do, not to be held back by fear, doubt, or circumstances, but to rise, to believe, and to move forward with confidence. No matter how dark it seems, the sun is still shining above the clouds. No matter how far you've fallen, there is still a way up. So today, make the decision. Lift up your eyes. See hope instead of despair. See possibility instead of limitation. See victory instead of defeat. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead of you. The doors that closed weren't your end. They were redirections to something better. Lift up your eyes, because what's coming is greater than anything you've left behind. Stay in faith. Keep looking up. The best is yet to come. Life isn't just about what happens to us. It's about how we see what happens. Two people can go through the same storm, yet one comes out stronger while the other feels defeated. The difference isn't in the circumstances. It's in their perspective. When you lift your eyes and choose to see beyond the immediate struggle, you shift your mindset from limitation to possibility. You begin to realize that setbacks are not stop signs, but stepping stones. What you focus on grows, and if you keep your eyes down, fixated on the obstacles, those obstacles will seem bigger than they really are. But if you lift up your eyes, you start to see solutions, opportunities, and a path forward. Your thoughts and beliefs shape your world more than you realize. If you constantly tell yourself that things will never change, that you'll never get out of debt, that you'll never find the right people in your life, then you start to live out those expectations. You'll overlook opportunities, dismiss blessings, and stay stuck in cycles of frustration. But if you shift your mindset and start believing that better days are ahead, that favor is surrounding you, that doors are opening in your favor, you'll start to see life respond to that expectation. You attract what you focus on. When you focus on hope, you find reasons to be hopeful. When you focus on defeat, you find reasons to feel defeated. Think about how a photographer frames a picture. They can take a photo of the same location but shift the angle, change the lighting, or zoom in on something different, and suddenly it tells a new story. Your life is the same way. The picture you see is determined by how you choose to frame it. If you focus only on the pain, the failures, or the delays, then that's all you'll see. But if you step back, adjust your view, and frame your life in a way that highlights the possibilities, the lessons, and the moments of grace, then you'll start to see the beauty in the process. This is why two people can be in the same job, facing the same challenges, and one feels frustrated while the other feels grateful. One sees obstacles, the other sees opportunities. One sees lack, the other sees potential. What makes the difference? Their perspective. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing to focus on what will lift you rather than what will weigh you down. It's about training your mind to see solutions instead of roadblocks, to see open doors instead of closed ones, to see the hand of favor guiding you even when things don't go as planned. Have you ever noticed how children dream without limits? They don't analyze why something isn't possible. They believe in what could be. But as we grow, we start to let disappointments shape our perspective. We let past failures convince us that we shouldn't hope too much. We allow fear to shrink our vision. But today, you have the power to change that. You have the choice to lift your eyes and see beyond what's in front of you. Just because something didn't work out before doesn't mean it won't work out now. Just because you face difficulties doesn't mean you won't experience breakthroughs. You must renew your perspective and choose to see life through a lens of faith and expectation. The truth is, whatever you focus on, you magnify. If you keep looking at what's wrong, it will consume your thoughts, drain your energy, and steal your joy. But when you lift your eyes and focus on the good, on the possibilities, on the promise that there's something greater ahead, then your reality begins to shift. You move from a place of doubt to a place of confidence. You start living with a sense of anticipation instead of fear. And as you elevate your perspective, you elevate your life. There is something powerful inside of you, something greater than any setback, any disappointment, or any failure. You were not designed to stay down when life knocks you over. You were created to rise. No matter what challenges you've faced, no matter how many times you've stumbled, there is still a seed of greatness within you. Too often, people let failure define them. They let disappointments convince them that they've reached their limit. But let me remind you today, just because you've fallen doesn't mean you have to stay there. You were built to get back up, to stand tall, and to keep moving forward. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't give up after falling once or twice. They don't sit on the floor and say, maybe walking isn't for me. No, something inside them knows they were meant to stand. So they get back up over and over again until they take those first steps. And once they do, they never go back to crawling. That's the same strength inside of you. No matter how many times you've been knocked down, you have the ability to rise again. The fact that you're still here means your story isn't over. There is more ahead, more to accomplish, more to become. The difficulties you face are not there to defeat you. They are there to develop you. Resistance is what builds strength. If you never face challenges, you would never grow. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold is refined by fire. And champions are shaped through adversity. When life pushes against you, it's not a sign that you should quit. It's an opportunity for you to rise. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every closed door is leading you to something greater. Every hardship is preparing you for the next level of your destiny. Don't let your circumstances convince you that you've reached your limit. You may be in a difficult season right now, but that's not your final destination. Just like the sun rises after the darkest night, you too will rise again. It may not happen overnight, and it may not be easy, but if you keep believing, keep pressing forward, and refuse to stay down, you will see victory. You were not created to live in defeat, to struggle endlessly, or to stay in a place of brokenness. You were made to overcome, to thrive, and to walk boldly in your purpose. You have a strength inside of you that is greater than any obstacle in front of you. The storms of life may shake you, but they cannot break you unless you let them. The voices of doubt may try to tell you it's over, but the truth is, you still have breath in your lungs and purpose in your steps. This is your time to rise, to shake off the past, to let go of fear, and to step into the fullness of your destiny. If you're still here, it means there's more ahead. It means your greatest victories are still waiting for you. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and remind yourself, I was created to rise. Nothing can keep you down unless you allow it. No failure is final. No setback is permanent. You were built to overcome, to stand tall, and to keep moving forward. The best is yet to come. And as long as you keep rising, nothing can stop you from reaching the heights you were meant for. It's easy to get caught up in what's going wrong. The struggles, the setbacks, the disappointments. They demand our attention. They weigh on our minds and make us feel like we're stuck. But if you spend all your time focusing on what's wrong, you'll never see what's possible. The truth is, what you focus on grows. If you magnify the problem, it will seem bigger than it really is. But if you shift your focus to the possibilities, you'll start seeing solutions, opportunities, and new doors opening. Think about driving a car. If you keep staring at the rearview mirror, focusing on what's behind you, you'll miss what's ahead. You won't see the open road, the new destinations, or the exciting opportunities waiting for you. Life works the same way. When you focus on your problems, what didn't work out, who hurt you, what's not fair, you stay stuck in the past. But when you focus on possibilities, you start moving forward. You begin to see that your setback wasn't the end. It was a setup for something better. Problems have a way of making us feel small. They whisper lies telling us there's no way out, that we'll never overcome, that we're stuck. But those are just distractions. Every challenge you face has a solution. Every closed door leads to another open one. Every struggle is shaping you for something greater. The key is to stop feeding the fear and start feeding your faith. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? What new path is this leading me toward? Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history happened because someone refused to focus on the problem and instead looked for possibilities. When Thomas Edison was trying to invent the light bulb, he failed thousands of times, but instead of seeing failure, he saw each attempt as progress. He didn't focus on the problem, he focused on the possibility of success. And because of that mindset, he eventually found the answer that changed the world. What if you applied that same thinking to your life? What if instead of seeing obstacles, you started seeing opportunities? You may be facing financial difficulties, health challenges, or relationship struggles. But that's not the end of your story. What seems like a roadblock may actually be a redirection. What looks like a setback may be setting you up for something greater than you imagine. But you won't see it if you're only looking at what's wrong. You have to lift your eyes and start expecting solutions, breakthroughs, and new opportunities. You have to believe that the same forces that brought you through past challenges will bring you through this one too. So make the decision today. Stop focusing on the problem and start focusing on the possibilities. Shift your mindset from doubt to expectation, from fear to faith, from limitations to opportunities. When you change what you focus on, you change what you experience. And when you start looking for possibilities, you'll be amazed at how many doors open, how many answers appear, and how much strength you find within yourself. The best is yet to come, but you have to look up to see it. Storms in life are inevitable. We all go through seasons of uncertainty, difficulty, and pain. There are moments when the winds of adversity feel too strong, when the rain of disappointment seems endless, and when the weight of the storm makes you wonder if you'll make it through. But let me remind you today, storms are not meant to break you. They are meant to elevate you. They are not there to destroy you, but to strengthen you, to prepare you for the next level, and to push you into your destiny. Think about an eagle. When a storm comes, most birds hide, but not the eagle. Instead of running from the wind, it spreads its wings and uses the storm to rise higher. What was meant to bring it down actually lifts it up. The same is true for you. The struggles, the obstacles, the difficulties, they are not signs that you are failing. They are opportunities to grow, to stretch, and to soar. The storm you're facing today might feel overwhelming, but it is the very thing that will take you to new heights if you refuse to give up. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life come from the toughest battles. If everything was easy, you would never develop strength. If you never faced opposition, you would never discover how much resilience, courage, and faith you truly have. Pressure produces diamonds, fire refines gold, and adversity builds champions. The people who achieve great things, the ones who inspire others, are not those who never face storms. They are the ones who face the storm head on and refuse to let it break them. You may be wondering, why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me? But what if instead of asking why, you started asking what? What is this storm teaching me? What strength is being developed in me? What new opportunities will come from this? Every storm has a purpose. Maybe it's pushing you out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's teaching you to trust, to let go of fear, or to step into something greater. You may not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that the storm didn't break you, it built you. History is filled with people who turned their storms into stepping stones. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he created. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. They all faced storms, but instead of letting those storms define them, they let them refine them. They used adversity as a catalyst for success. What if your storm is setting you up for something greater? What if the very thing that feels like a setback is actually a setup for your comeback? So don't fear the storm. Face it with confidence. Spread your wings like the eagle and rise above it. The winds that seem to be against you are actually working your favor. The rain that looks like it's drowning you is actually watering the seeds of your future. You are stronger than you think, and this storm is not your end, it is your elevation. Stay in faith, stand strong, and get ready to rise. Too often, People let their past dictate their future. They carry mistakes, regrets, and failures like a heavy burden, believing that because they've been through struggle, they are destined to stay there. But let me remind you today, your past is not your identity, and it does not have the power to define your future unless you allow it to. Where you've been, what you've done, or what's happened to you may be part of your story, but it is not the final chapter. Think about a car. The windshield is much bigger than the rearview mirror because where you are going is far more important than where you've been. If you keep looking behind you, you'll miss the road ahead. The same applies to life. If you constantly replay past mistakes, disappointments, and failures, you'll stay stuck. But when you choose to let go, to shift your focus forward, you open yourself up to new opportunities, new beginnings, and new victories. Some of the most successful people in history had difficult pasts. Walt Disney was told he lacked creativity. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job in television. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. If they had let their past define them, they would have never stepped into their greatness. The truth is, your past is not a prison sentence. It is a lesson, a stepping stone, a preparation for what's next. What you've been through can either hold you back or propel you forward. It's up to you to decide. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've faced rejection, loss, or heartbreak. But none of that disqualifies you from your future. You are not your failures. You are not your past struggles. You are full of potential, full of purpose, and full of untapped greatness. The moment you stop letting your past define you, you step into the freedom to create the future you were meant to have. Don't let shame, guilt, or regret keep you from moving forward. Forgive yourself. Forgive those who hurt you. Release the weight of what's behind you so you can run freely toward what's ahead. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not determine your destiny. Every day is a fresh start, a new opportunity to write a different story. So lift your head, let go of yesterday, and step boldly into your future. And you are not who you were, you are who you choose to become. The best days of your life are still ahead of you, and nothing from your past can stop you unless you let it. Keep moving forward because there is something greater waiting for you. We've all faced moments when things didn't go as planned. A job opportunity we were excited about didn't work out. A relationship we thought would last ended. A dream we were working towards suddenly seemed out of reach. It's easy to feel discouraged in those moments, to wonder, why did this happen? What did I do wrong? But let me remind you today, a closed door is not a rejection. It's often a divine redirection. It's not the end of your story. It's just a sign that something better is ahead. Too often we hold on to what we think is best for us, not realizing that there's a greater plan unfolding. We try to force doors open, we get frustrated when things don't work out, and we question whether we're even on the right path. But if you look back over your life, you'll see moments when what seemed like a setback was actually a setup for something greater. That job you didn't get led you to a better career. That relationship that ended made space for the right person. That opportunity that didn't work out prepared you for something beyond what you imagined. Think about a GPS system. When you take a wrong turn, it doesn't shut down and say, you've ruined everything, there's no way forward. No, it simply recalculates and finds a new route. That's exactly how life works. When a door closes, it doesn't mean you're off track. It means there's a better way forward. Closed doors protect you from settling for less than what's meant for you. They push you to stretch, to grow, and to step into the next level of your destiny. There's a story about a businessman who was heartbroken after being turned down for a promotion. He felt overlooked and disappointed. But months later, that same company went through major layoffs, and many people in that department lost their jobs. Because he had been redirected, he ended up finding an even better position at a different company. One that gave him more fulfillment, more opportunities, and a brighter future. What he once saw as a disappointment was actually divine protection. Maybe you're in a season right now where doors seem to be closing all around you. Maybe you're wondering why certain things didn't work out the way you planned. Let me encourage you, don't lose heart. What's behind that closed door is not your final destination. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep moving forward because every no is leading you closer to the right yes. So the next time a door closes, don't get discouraged. Get excited. It means you're being positioned for something greater. It means the right opportunity, the right relationship, the right breakthrough is still ahead of you. Stay in faith, stay expectant, and trust that what's coming is better than what's gone. We've all faced moments when things didn't go as planned. A job opportunity we were excited about didn't work out. A relationship we thought would last ended. A dream we were working towards suddenly seemed out of reach. It's easy to feel discouraged in those moments, to wonder, why did this happen? What did I do wrong? But let me remind you today, a closed door is not a rejection. It's often a divine redirection. It's not the end of your story. It's just a sign that something better is ahead. Too often, we hold on to what we think is best for us, not realizing that there's a greater plan unfolding. We try to force doors open. We get frustrated when things don't work out, and we question whether we're even on the right path. But if you look back over your life, you'll see moments when what seemed like a setback was actually a set up for something greater. That job you didn't get led you to a better career. That relationship that ended made space for the right person. That opportunity that didn't work out prepared you for something beyond what you imagined. Think about a GPS system. When you take a wrong turn, it doesn't shut down and say, you've ruined everything, there's no way forward. No, it simply recalculates and finds a new route. That's exactly how life works. When a door closes, it doesn't mean you're off track. It means there's a better way forward. Closed doors protect you from settling for less than what's meant for you. They push you to stretch, to grow, and to step into the next level of your destiny. There's a story about a businessman who was heartbroken after being turned down for a promotion. He felt overlooked and disappointed. But months later, that same company went through major layoffs, and many people in that department lost their jobs. Because he had been redirected, he ended up finding an even better position at a different company. One that gave him more fulfillment, more opportunities, and a brighter future. What he once saw as a disappointment was actually divine protection. Maybe you're in a season right now where doors seem to be closing all around you. Maybe you're wondering why certain things didn't work out the way you planned. Let me encourage you. Don't lose heart. What's behind that closed door is not your final destination. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep moving forward, because every no is leading you closer to the right yes. So the next time a door closes, don't get discouraged, get excited. It means you're being positioned for something greater. It means the right opportunity, the right relationship, the right breakthrough is still ahead of you. Stay in faith, stay expectant, and trust that what's coming is better than what's gone. Life is full of challenges. There are seasons when everything seems to be working against you. Dreams feel delayed, obstacles seem insurmountable, and the path forward is unclear. In those moments, it's easy to get discouraged, to focus on what's wrong, and to let fear take over. But faith is the ability to see beyond the present struggle. Faith is choosing to believe that where you are now is not where you will always be. It's holding on to the promise that something greater is on the other side of what you're facing. Faith doesn't mean you ignore reality. It doesn't mean you pretend the struggle isn't real, but it does mean you refuse to let your circumstances define your future. You may be in a difficult place right now, but that doesn't mean you're stuck. You may not see the way forward, but that doesn't mean there isn't one. Faith says, I may not understand it now, but I trust that something good is coming out of this. Think about a seed buried in the soil. If you looked at it in that moment, you might think it was lifeless, covered in darkness with no potential. But what you don't see is that beneath the surface, something is happening. Roots are growing. Transformation is taking place. And in time, that tiny seed will push through the dirt and become something strong and beautiful. Your struggle is not the end of your story. It's just part of the process. Many of the greatest breakthroughs in life come after seasons of struggle. The greatest victories come after the hardest battles. If you stop in the middle of the struggle, you'll never see the promise on the other side. But if you keep pressing forward, if you refuse to give up, you'll discover that what once seemed impossible is now within reach. Faith is what carries you through the tough times, reminding you that this too shall pass, and what's ahead is worth the fight. One of the most powerful examples of faith is the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and falsely accused. For years, it seemed like nothing in his life was working out. But through it all, he held on to faith, faith that his struggle wasn't the end of his story. In the end, he rose to a position of great influence. And every hardship he had faced was preparing him for that moment. His journey reminds us that what looks like a setback is often a setup for something greater. So if you're in a season of struggle right now, don't let it break you. Let it build you. Keep believing, keep pushing forward, and keep your eyes on the promise ahead. The pain you feel today is not permanent. The challenge you're facing is not the final word. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. If you can see beyond the present struggle, you can step into the future that was meant for you. Does this message resonate with you? Let me know if you'd like any adjustments. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, and every success story starts the same way, with a decision. Before you ever see the victory, before the dream becomes reality, before the doors open, you have to make up your mind to believe. Belief is the foundation of victory. If you don't believe it can happen, you'll never take the steps to make it happen. If you don't believe you're capable, you'll never step into your full potential. But the moment you decide to believe, something shifts. You activate faith, you awaken possibility, and you step into the mindset of a champion. Think about David when he faced Goliath. Before he ever picked up a stone, before he ever ran toward the giant, he made a decision. He believed he could win. He didn't let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others stop him. He didn't focus on how big the giant was. He focused on how big his God was. That's the power of belief. It gives you courage to face challenges, strength to keep going, and confidence to step into what's meant for you. So many people live defeated not because they lack talent, opportunity, or potential, but because they never made the decision to believe. They let past failures, negative voices, or temporary setbacks convince them that victory isn't possible. But you have to tune out the doubt, push past the fear, and declare, I am more than enough. I am capable. I am victorious. The moment you align your mindset with victory, you start attracting victory. Belief isn't about ignoring obstacles. It's about refusing to let them stop you. Challenges will come, opposition will rise, and difficulties will appear, but your belief determines whether you push through or give up. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders all had moments when things looked impossible. The difference? They chose to believe anyway. They believed when no one else did. They believed when the odds were against them. And because they believed, they saw victory. What about you? What dream have you put on hold because you weren't sure it was possible? What goal have you talked yourself out of because it felt too big? What breakthrough have you been waiting for, when all along it's been waiting on you to believe? Your victory isn't waiting for perfect circumstances. It's waiting for you to step up in faith. The moment you say yes in your heart, things start moving in your favor. So today, make the decision to believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in your purpose. Believe that what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. You may not see the full picture yet, but don't let that stop you. Walk forward with faith, with confidence, with boldness, because victory starts the moment you choose to believe. It's easy to look back on the past and think that the best moments of your life are over. Maybe you had a season of success, joy, or excitement, and now things feel different. Maybe you've been through disappointments, setbacks, or unexpected detours, and you wonder if you'll ever get back to where you once were. But let me remind you today, your best days are not behind you. They are still ahead. What's coming is greater than what's been, and the most amazing chapters of your story have yet to be written. Too many people live looking in the rearview mirror, longing for what was, replaying old memories, or regretting past mistakes. But if you're constantly looking back, you'll miss what's ahead. The future is where your promise is. The future is where new doors will open. The future is where your next victory will come. No matter what you've experienced, good or bad, God is not finished with you yet. There is more life, more joy, more opportunities, and more purpose waiting for you. Think about a tree. Every year it goes through seasons. Spring brings new blossoms. Summer brings growth. Fall brings change, and winter seems like a time of stillness. But just because the tree looks lifeless in winter doesn't mean it's dead. Underneath the surface, roots are growing deeper, preparing for the next season of strength and abundance. Maybe you're in a winter season right now where things feel slow, uncertain, or even discouraging. But don't mistake a temporary season for the end of your journey. Something greater is ahead. Some of the most successful and fulfilled people didn't hit their peak early in life. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. Vera Wang designed her first wedding dress at 40. Abraham Lincoln failed multiple times before becoming one of the greatest leaders in history. They didn't let past disappointments define them. They kept moving forward, knowing that the best was still ahead. What if you have yet to step into your greatest calling? What if the things you've been praying for, dreaming of, and hoping for are still on the way? Maybe you've lost something, a relationship, an opportunity, or a dream that didn't work out. But loss is not the final word. Restoration is coming. New opportunities are coming. New relationships, new dreams, and new victories are ahead of you. Just because you haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's not on the way. Your past does not limit your future, and your greatest accomplishments are still waiting for you to step into them. So lift your head, shake off the discouragement, and step into the future with expectation. You haven't seen your greatest breakthroughs yet. You haven't reached your highest potential yet. You haven't experienced your most joyful days yet. Walk forward in faith, knowing that the best is not behind you, it's ahead of you. Life has a way of testing our patience, stretching our endurance, and challenging our belief. There are moments when the road feels long, when doors seem closed, and when the answers we're waiting for feel delayed. It's easy in those moments to get discouraged, to settle where we are, or to stop expecting things to change. But let me remind you today, your story is not over. Your breakthrough is still coming, and your best days are still ahead. You just have to stay in faith, stay expectant, and keep looking up. Faith is not about seeing everything clearly. It's about trusting even when you don't see. It's about believing that even when circumstances look impossible, something good is still on the way. When you stay in faith, you position yourself for the right doors to open, the right opportunities to find you, and the right people to cross your path. You don't have to know how it will happen. You just have to trust that it will. Expectation is a powerful force. When you live with expectation, you don't wake up dreading the day. You wake up looking for blessings, looking for opportunities, looking for favor. What you expect, you attract. If you expect defeat, you'll find obstacles. If you expect breakthrough, you'll recognize open doors. That's why it's so important to keep your heart and mind focused on the possibilities, not the problems. Think about a farmer who plants seeds. He doesn't just throw them into the soil and forget about them. No, he waters them, nurtures them, and expects a harvest. He doesn't see anything happening right away, but he doesn't get discouraged. He knows that beneath the surface, something is growing. The same is true for you. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean things aren't working in your favor. Stay expectant, because your season of breakthrough is coming. But here's the key. You have to keep looking up. If you keep your eyes on the struggle, on the disappointment, on the delay, you'll miss the blessings that are already unfolding. When you look up, you shift your perspective. You stop focusing on what's wrong and start seeing what's possible. You stop dwelling on the closed doors and start recognizing new opportunities. When you start recognizing new opportunities, the answers you're waiting for, the dreams you're believing for, the miracles you're expecting, they are all ahead of you, not behind you. So don't give up. Stay in faith. Keep expecting good things. Keep looking up, because what's coming is greater than what's been. You may be closer than you think. The breakthrough, the open door, the answered prayer, it's on the way. Keep believing. Keep standing strong, and get ready for what's next. My friend, you were never meant to live in defeat, doubt, or discouragement. You were created to rise higher, to walk in faith, and to step into the fullness of your destiny. No matter what you've been through, no matter what doors have closed, no matter what struggles you're facing, this is not the end of your story. The best is still ahead. So make the decision today. Stay in faith, stay expectant, and keep looking up. Let go of the past, trust the process, and believe that something greater is coming. The setbacks were only setups. The delays were only preparations, and the disappointments were only redirections towards something better. Victory starts in your mind. It starts with your belief. It starts with you declaring, I am not defeated. I am not stuck. I am moving forward. I am stepping into greater things. If you keep believing, if you keep expecting, if you keep moving forward, you will see doors open that you never imagined, opportunities come that you never expected, and blessings unfold that will leave you in awe. So lift your head, walk with confidence, Keep pressing forward because what's ahead of you is far greater than anything behind you. Stay in faith. Your breakthrough is coming.